Hi, it's Gail at Traders Help Desk. In this video, I'm going to go through what I expect out of the markets this week. And the first thing I would notice is on the Euro US dollar, we should see a retracement probably the first of the week. You can actually see that we are at resistance on the 720-minute chart. Typically, when this occurs, we will see a retracement back to the ATR. Now the ATR will move up, and I expect it will come up around 1.1218. We also see over on the 180 that we are in the process of making a magenta peak. That typically tells us that price will retrace back to the ATR, which is 1276. So I do think initially we're going to see some downward movement. You can also see on the volume indicator that sellers actually started coming in here. They came in again here. This is a very narrow range bar. I would expect the Euro US dollar to go down off of those two. Let's go look at the USDJPY, see if there's anything. You can see we're just in a congestion area on the 1440 as well as the 720. Again, we are at a congestion dot on the 180. Typically, we will see a retracement back to this ATR. So initially, we may see some downward movement on the USDJPY, and then after that retracement, you would have to wait and read the volume to actually see if buyers come in or what happens on the seller side before we can make a decision to go long. On crude, we do have crude oil inventories this week, and it will be at 11 a.m. is what it is reported to be currently. So on crude, you do see that we are at an area that is actually a monthly resistance area. So I think we may retrace off of that monthly congestion dot. Also see that the ADX is at 54 on the 720. That's not yet considered to be overbought or oversold. However, if crude comes down to $49, then you are going to see a magenta peak here and you will see a retracement. Over on the 180-minute chart, you are seeing that it has almost retraced to that ATR. It's missed it by about 20 ticks. And then you can also see over on the 45-minute that we are going down to the pivot point. So I would expect crude at least to get to the pivot point, which is at 48.90. Then we would have to watch it and see what happens. On gold, you can see that we just broke the ATR on the 1440, which is a daily chart. I do think gold will reach up to 1163.5. Then we would need to analyze the volume. Over on the 180-minute chart, we do not have a magenta peak yet. We have had one on the 45-minute. As it stands right now, there has been no selling in that whatsoever. So unless they flip this ATR, I would only be looking for longs. Over on the Nasdaq, you do see that we've come into an area that may actually resist price. Over on the 720, you see that we got to the congestion dots. They pulled back slightly and then they were able to break that area. So although I think that we will see a test of this area over on the 180-minute chart, longer term for the week actually looks like the Nasdaq will go up. Then on the Dow, you can see that we just really kind of hung around this congestion dot on Friday. So I think we're going to see a retracement at the open. Now we may only retrace back to 16,850 before we can actually analyze whether it's going to continue up or not. If it does continue up, there is a sweet spot from 16,954 up to 17,714. So we could actually see the Dow make new highs again this week. Again, a lot depends on what happens within the next couple of days. I'm not seeing sellers coming into the market, and that is usually indicative that we will see higher prices.